Whew. Hello, 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 hello. How's it going? How's it going, Jody? What's up? Saying you're popping in. You're gonna be going to sleep. How's it going? Listen. You're gonna be going to sleep. I get
How's
it.
it going?
I get it.
Listen.
You've been working hard. You're
Hello.
gonna be going to sleep.
I get it.
Got the echo going crazy. You know, I understand. Look, these things happen. But what's up, beautiful people? Here we are, back again, in the fish room, in the lab. You know, I don't even think it's using my headphone mic, so I'm just taking it off. But how's everyone been doing? Monday, but tomorrow is a holiday, so Ben, you're in here begging for a free fish tank already. Hold up, man. I ain't even finished saying hello to everyone. You're already in here asking. You should have been at the auction, man. Well, actually, the 2.5s were going for like over $20. Never mind. That's probably too rich for your blood, and you're asking for a free one. But you know, it is what it is. Jesse said, "Jesus, Ben." Yeah, man. He's starting early, and I'm already on live chat. So hold up, Putu. Don't worry. I'm on the live chat, Captain. I'm on point. Man, so today is going to be a bit, well, I was going to make some coffee before this stream, but I didn't do that. I did not start the coffee before I got on, so I'm just going to have to go with the energy I got. But, going to be pretty simple. I should be able to handle this. We're going to get into the ACM auction recap. I got some pictures from the event. I got sellers reports. I got those things. Overall, pretty successful auction, I feel like. I feel like there's a lot of things to be happy about there. There's a little bit of, small little things that maybe didn't go ideally, but, it was a fun auction. It was long, as expected. Definitely long, as expected, but we did the thing. I did not come home with as much as I was expecting to, but we'll get into that. Then I found this interesting little thing going on over in the UK. Some policy stuff going on with the sentience of fish and the implications of policy. There was a little bit of back and forth between the Ornamental Aquatic Trade Association, okay, and the Environment, Food, and Rural Affairs Committee of NPs in Westminster. Basically, one party launched a consultation on the government's plans, and kind of it got into a few more things on, regulations. Like one thing they were like, we should regulate it more like the terrestrial animals and things like that. Anyways, so the Ornamental Aquatic Trade Association responded to basically this government commission report on the sentience of fish and its implications of policy. I found it to be interesting, and we'll get into that after the whole auction talk. Fuju said, "Rip, no fish, no." Yeah, it's no longer no fish November. It's Mo Fish Movember. Okay, I thought we went over this last time. You guys just misheard me when I said it was no fish November. That was a misunderstanding. I said Mo Fish November. Okay, and I did get a little bit of a chance to auctioneer for a bit near the end the other day at the auction, so definitely appreciate them for giving me a chance to get up there. Stephen, Chad were excited to get me some practice in, and that was good. I think we have some footage of that, so we'll talk about that and look at that. Bob said Nick's an auctioneer now. They grow up so fast, yo. Ben asked, can I have a free fish tank? Come on, Ben. You still haven't come to visit. How are you going to get the fish tank if you're not here? I mean, that's the main issue with you and this fish tank thing. You got to meet us halfway, right? We got to meet us halfway. Excuse me. Okay. So, first thing is first, the auction. Now, we went over the items. I think the final lot amount was $666 6 lots in the ACM auction. Number 666 was axolotl. I was actually auctioneering when that came up. I couldn't help myself from noting about the lot number name. I really think that axolotl should be named Lucifer. I feel like it's only fitting. But perhaps the lot number now was a bit of an omen for a couple things that transpired. So let me set the scene a little bit for those that didn't make it to the auction, that haven't gone to an auction recently. Let's just walk through this together so we can get the full experience. All right. Poochie said, if you're 555, then I'm 666. Oh, sorry. Pond Puppy said, if you're 555, then I'm 666. Wait. Why are you 6? Why am I 555? Hold up. Okay. So, the big thing with this auction was plants. The plant. Oh, Slipknot lyrics. My bad. Okay. So the big thing with the auction was plants, right? It's a plant auction. So you walk in, you know, there's tons of tables with plants. You know, we got one table here with the tissue cultures on deck. You know, then we go over here. We got more plants. Oh my gosh, there's even more plants. And notice how the sun is up. The sun was no longer up by the time the auction was over. But you notice the sun is clearly up in this photo. We have this bonsai tree here, pretty cool. So it just you can visually see cool stuff on the tables as you walk in. As far as the plants go, they had the tables a little bit more organized than in the past, but and honestly, there wasn't as many dry goods, I feel like, as there have been in the past, which I kind of was hoping there'd be more dechlorinator. I forgot to bid. I keep forgetting to bid on the online auction, honestly. I keep on forgetting to, I keep getting bid at the last second. I'm so bad. But here we go. We'll be talking about these for sure. Here's the 2.5s that Scotty was lusting after in the chat before the auction. I don't think he ended up leaving with any of them. You can see we got some 3D printed risers, some air-powered fry trays over here. Okay, here's the 2.5s in all their glory. Look at that. A little dinky light in there, but they got the lids in there too, and a heater. And all these 3D printed, beautiful 3D printed hang-on back planters John made and designed. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where's the fish? I know. You can't even get to the fish yet, man. There's too much stuff to get to before you even are able... Well, actually, the fish were kind of closer to the door. I'll be honest. I got there. I had to put my labels on all the stuff. I was running behind. I was in there trying to tape labels to bags and looking like a total disaster. That's per usual. We got some more tanks over here. More lights. Mick said stuff is fun, too. Mick said, can I have some free Procatopus? If you come visit me, I'll give you some Procatopus. Of course. Of course, for you. Okay, let's look at some fish bags here. So there was a good amount of fish, and honestly, there's a good amount of some terrestrial isopods. I'm not gonna lie. You can see in the back here, those are all little isopod containers. And then up in the front, look at all these, what are Aquaton bags. Now the thing about these bags, there was a lot of items where you couldn't tell how many were inside. These Aquaton bags really suck for seeing things. So there was a few lots that had Snow White bristlenose in them, and everyone thought that, at least I thought, there a lot of people thought, not everyone, but a lot of people thought there was one. There's actually two in there. So KW said, yay, the fish. Are you selling / shipping the little blue ones yet? Wait, which little blue ones do you refer to? But yeah, so the little labels here on these Aquaneat bags did make it hard to tell how many fish were in the bags sometimes, depending, you know, because if it's one that's kind of sticks to the side, it might stick right behind the label. But pretty neat little bags. You can see that's actually one of my bags there. with the terribly taped on super red label on it. Although I think I mixed up one of my bags of what was inside of it. Ben said, "Can I have a free fish tank?" Unfortunately, no, Ben. I don't think you can. Not today. You've not been very good. You've not been very good. You're gonna have to pick up the pace. Christmas is right around the corner, and you're not making a nice list at this point, Ben. I'm sorry. A couple fish. I'm 10 minutes late. SMA. Oh my gosh, bro. Late again? Late again? Okay. One of the stories of this auction is that Black Blast says that strike three for Ben. Yep, there he goes. Time's out. Now, one of the stories of this auction is live bearers. So, you might remember from the lots, but it's different seeing them in person. There was a lot of live bearer bags. A lot of very nice, very big, very healthy live bearers. You see Zophophorus Mayi, very nice wild type swordtail, 2 pairs, 2 males, 2 females. There was the Montezuma in there. There's some platinum gold sailfin mollies. There's some black and electric blue mollies. And you can see huge quantities, 12 in that bag. Yeah, there's a Zophophorus Montezuma, 6 in that bag. I think the guy that brought them, I think the first bag of those Montezumas apparently went too low, so he pulled the rest of them. I'm not sure. I don't blame him. It was a clip. It was a clip for the big libraries. Jerp, your El Somo Gaberti? Oh yeah, man. I should check on how many of those I have. I'll restock those. Of course, I'll always have some El Somo around. They're pretty. Okay, so yeah, live bears, lots of really nice live bears, and one of the more visible things on the table for sure. I took a picture of this just for you guys. There was a bag of live tube effects worms. I did not bid on them, but I know how much you guys like the tube effects worms. Okay, so I did take a picture of them for you. Nice big bag, and they were laid on top of some ice, which did make me scared. I don't know why, but what's up, JP? Hardest working. Let's go. Mick said, "Looked like a nice auction. For searching for species is half the fun. Good to see bags down flat on the table to spare the fish from stress." Yep, there's a good amount of flat bags on the table. There's some interesting killifish in the auction. Here is what some of them look like on the table. So here we have some. So this is like dime bags of killifish, like it's a drug deal. So this is a Phasimian Australe trio here. And then we've got the Fundula Panchex, Gracensi, Teco. I can't even speak, but you know what I'm talking about. It says it right there. This is a BAP. There's 4 of them. I actually got this lot, and I need to go look now that they've been in there and see, like, if I think what the sex ratio is. And look, here's a little bag. I have my blue fins. My blue fins are in here somewhere. Breeding bag with some killies mixed in. Nice. Yep. We got some Aphysemium bivitatum funge. Those are in there. So a couple killies. There was some Volcanum, and there were some Riggenbacki. So not too bad. Not too bad on the killie front, honestly. There was a couple in there. And again, we see the lots and stuff, but you gotta set. I'm trying to set the scene. This was a bag I wish I'd gone harder on. It was a huge bag of albino cories. It said 7 count, but I think people said that there might have been more in there. They're absolutely enormous. Mick said I would have been bidding for those straight away. Yep, and that's what I did. I think I got them for 30. A little bit of getting ahead of myself there, but yeah, some big albino cories in there, and let's see, there's some snow white bags behind them. As you can see, the labels pretty in the way as far as seeing things. Pretty in the way. Okay, so and here's that square tank. People were poo-pooing the square tank. I think we'll see what the final price was. Zebra, what's up, Andrew? He said they're huge. Yep, they're freaking huge. People are poo-pooing this tank, but man, this thing looks pretty nice in person. Okay, look at that cute little futuristic light up there. Okay, and it did go way above the $25 minimum. So I'm just saying, man, people were down in the square tank. Okay, oh, $25 minimum. I'm broke. Listen, man. People thought it was nice. People thought it was nice. Similarly, here is the canister filters. People were also hating on. But look how beautiful they look next to the square tank. Come on. You could have taken both of these home if you were there, but you weren't there. You were home, sitting, staring at your tank with a rim. Well, more of a rim than this tank at least, and no canister filter. Okay? Black Planet said, love clean dry goods in an auction. Yeah, pretty much. Mick said, how much you got them for the albinos? I didn't get the albino quarries, but I think they went for like 30-ish. Wait, Andrew, you got the albinos? God damn it. I wish I had bid on those more. I thought I was going to bid on more stuff after that, so I was saving my money. But now looking back, since I really didn't spend that much, I wish I had fought on them. But now that I know that you got them, I guess it's whatever. It's whatever. Puchu said I was home packing orders. Yo, we've been chilling for Captain too hard. Now Captain's too busy shipping orders out and stuff, man. Can't even come to the auction no more. It was trash. Absolute trash. But yeah, not as many, like not a ton of dry goods. Here's that box of caves and some of the decor. Kind of wish I bid on the box of caves. I wish I'd bid on the EBO more. I got outbid last second on a lot of things. But honestly, that's a lot of caves. That's probably the most useful decoration on there. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, Zebra, how much you pay for the albino quarries? Those things were giant. They must have been several years old, man. They're massive. Absolutely massive. Whatever you got them for, it was probably a steal. So, by the time that I make it and I'm got my stuff on, I've taped my labels messily to the bags. You can see that I'm now in the back and the bidding has begun. It started. The room is pretty well attendance. Damn, you said you got them $36 for 9 of the giant albino quarries. Captain said, have the club fly me out as a guest speaker. You better work on a talk, man. Might have to make that happen. But yeah, and you can see Big Steve here in the blue. That's him about to go outbid someone, probably. There was not as much Buse left on the table for me. There was someone that registered as the Buse Wizard, and him and his friend, those two degenerates. The Buse Wizard is this guy in the green on the back of his shirt, and this is Zebra right here with the plate held up, about to steal my albinos. You can see the Blix of red is on the screen. So yeah, you bid. The lot number's on the screen. I think that guy's name is Andrew that was up there. He was auctioneering first off. And yeah, so the fun begins, right? Now, couple things off the bat. Poochie said, are we still on for Fish Jeopardy this week? Oh shit, I forgot about that. But I mean, yeah. What day was that? I want to schedule that like far in advance, so people can make it. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the auction website in a second, and we'll go through some things. But a couple of notes. So once I'm settled in, I'm hearing whisperings. All right, and the whisperings are that some fish that a lot of people were looking for were not there. Okay, so you remember some of the standout items when we were going over the auction lists, and a lot of them were the wet spot donations as well as the aquatic clarity donations. We had the Parata Sinkless for Aldi in there. What's up, Jesse? Jesse's back. We had some Epistogramma Hongzloy, the Toucan Tetras, the cool Latacara, and those were like, there were two groups of 3 of the Galaxy Autos. I mean, that's pretty nice stuff. Anyways, basically what happened there is I'm looking for them. There was a guy that was like, man, where are those autos? I drove from Connecticut for those. There were several people that drove to Maryland from Connecticut, Delaware, Virginia, but some particular people came for like one item, and that person was one of them. And as I'm like, okay, what's going on? I hear some people say that the donations, the wet spot donations came in DOA. They arrived DOA. Two kinds of tetras, Tucano tetras. Yes, I probably should remember the name for that. But we'll look at the lot. We'll look at that. So I was like, damn, man, DOA, because we had just looked at it the night before, and everything was still listed. You know what I mean? So you kind of show up, everyone's kind of finding out together at the same time what's going on. And I'm going to the open lots because you can see the stuff that didn't sell. So you can see we had 2 listings of the Paraticinklus heroldi. Was this one listed as from wet spot? Where's the other one? This one's listed as a donation. Well, I think they're either from wet spot or aquatic clarity. Either way, they weren't there. That's the whole point. Okay, those weren't there. The Epistogramma Pandura weren't there. Here we go. The Tucon tetras, the Tucanichthyes Tucano, the wild kind. I think it was a group of 5. Those were missing. So a couple big items. Oh, bro, this one I was mad about. I didn't see these. The dwarf emerald pair, the proven pair. I was gonna bid on these, like whatever it went for. 186. No notification on site. Better late than never. Well, so there was never. So that's the first thing. So first of all, on site, better late than never. I agree. Now, the auction was on a Sunday, so my question is, were they somehow delivered on a Sunday? And at what time were they delivered? And then the other one, the delivery was delayed. So there is a little bit of question of at what point was it known that these fish were not going to show up? Bob said, can't believe we did get the proof of paria. There is a question about what point they knew that, because if they arrived DOA, then they should have known as soon as they arrived that they weren't going to be in the auction, right? Well, that's besides the point. To my knowledge, and I could have missed it, to my knowledge, I don't recall there being I didn't catch an official announcement about that. This was just word of mouth that I was hearing because people kept asking about what was going on. So like maybe someone asked, if you asked them directly, they'd say like what happened. But I don't recall like a to the room, hey guys, all these things arrived DOA. Like I don't remember that happening. Maybe it could, and I missed it. No one I've talked to said that they caught that. So I would say that's like the first thing I would say didn't go totally to plan, which obviously isn't the club's fault that they arrived DOA. But I think probably should have been a more timely just update about that, and pulling the lots. You know, just on the off chance that the person that drove all the way from that one lot, you know, didn't show up after driving 3 or 4 hours to find it wasn't there. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know if UPS or some of these other delivery services deliver on Sunday. I think maybe they do, but I don't know. Either way, there should have been a post about it or an announcement on site, I think. But what you gonna do? So hopefully the aquatic clarity ones, when they do come in, hopefully they're alive, and then maybe we see them at the next ACM auction in a month. So I'm keeping my hopes up for that. That would be really nice. Zebra said I asked Mandy and that's how I found out. Yep. So that's basically like if you went up and asked them, like they tell you what happened, but I don't remember a to the room, you know, statement on it. Not everyone is as outgoing where they're willing to go ask these kind of questions. Now I didn't have the chance to because people just told me because they knew I was looking for some of those items. But all right, so let's look at my seller's report for this real quick. We'll just start there. We'll just start there, and then we'll get into a few more pictures and things like that. Invoice. All right. I'm just making sure I don't got any information on here that I care about being on stream. So, and this is another thing I probably need to email them about, but let's get into it. Let's get to the wins because I don't want to make it sound like I'm complaining. But there is some lots that need amount adjustments most likely. So, here's my seller's report here, and you can see my Pelvicochromis Drachenfels CBAP is listed as not sold. It was sold. I think it was for $25. That's what I wrote down. Luckily, they live streamed it so they could go back. But this is an example of some things need to be corrected probably because it was listed as not sold. Then I have 6 panda cories, which actually should have changed it to 5. I did scratch it off on the bag. So I had 6 panda cories go up. Sorry, 5 panda cories go up. Those went to Cody Adams. They went for $35. The club got $5.25. I got $29.75 for those. And remember, for this auction, the club's cut was 15% of the member sales, as opposed to its usual 30. So literally got double the money. Then sorry, we literally half their cut to the usual. Now, it is important to remember for this auction, they were bringing in a lot of very nice donations that would go for a lot of money, and obviously they keep 100% of those donations. So I don't really think they were going to need the extra 15% of the cut for this one. Honestly, I think the 2 lots of Galaxy autos, the 2 lots of the nice Epistos, things like that, I think were all donations. The Toucans were all going to go for a lot, and some of the donations did go for a lot. So I think that's one thing that helps it be easy to not miss that. Okay, I had a bag of 10 yellow goldback Neocardinas. Went to Tony. $16 was the sale. Club got 2. I got $13.60 for that. Another bag went for 20. I got 17 from that. Then my 6 Betaruba juveniles, those went pretty near. Well, we can just look at what time they went for. These went a little bit later, $4.52 for $25. Not, I mean, I'll be honest. I kind of expect the worst when I put things into the auction. To this point, I had seen some stuff that made me concerned. So when they went for 25, which I get 21.25 of, I was like, okay, could have been much worse. But I think that's a pretty good price. Even though they're young, they're gonna grow pretty quick. I got 2 lots of red root floaters. One went for 4, the other went for 3. This one I was surprised that it went so high because I just didn't think it would. But I had 6 of my reticulated Hillstream loaches. They were kind of young. They went for $46. The club got $6.90, and I got $39.10 for those. Then I had the 6 Barbus fasciolatus I was bapping, so 6 young ones. Those went for $26, which I got $22.10 for. Can't be too upset about that. I mean, they're a little smaller. I think retail are like $10 a fish, but I mean they're a little smaller. Not everyone's looking for that kind of thing. I was fine with that. Anytime something goes over 20, I can't really be too mad. Chad got my 10 freshwater aquatic isopods. These went pretty late too, $5.32. I think the auction ended at $5.55. Let's see. Scotty put the exact time that it ended in the Discord. Let me see. Yeah, Scotty claims the auction ended at $5.55. So the isopods went in basically one of the very last items. Chad got it for $8. I got $6.80 for that. Then I had 4, which was actually 5 of the bluefin killifish. Lucania Goudet, I was bapping those. Those went for $9 to Aaron. Aaron got a steal. Okay, you got a steal on these, man. But it's okay. I got some more. It's fine. I got some more. So if it goes cheap to a friend, you know, $7.65 for that to me. This one I had some Wallacea regani fry, formerly Carinthia Regina Tapajos, the dwarf pike cichlid, like a little water puppy. Definitely one of the fish I'm most emotionally attached to. I got a bunch of fry. I've been raising up for these. Put some in. 6 of them. I kind of thought, you know, the minimum for the BAP for this club is 4. I kind of thought that maybe if I did 6, like psychologically, the price would be higher. But I should have remembered too that most people in this club, like anything bigger, goes pretty cheap at this club. At a lot of clubs in general. I mean, we all know nanofish are kind of like the thing right now. So those went for 20, but they went to Big Steve. So I think he's gonna really enjoy them. I need to text him and see how they're settling in. I think he's gonna really enjoy them. I'm glad that they went to him because they're just an awesome fish. Okay, I had 2 plecos, went for 7. I had 2 German rams. They're kind of young. I've been raising up. SVC gave me a bunch of fry. I've been raising up, so I just have a few more than I need at the time. Mick said bluefins available. They cost $15 each over here. Bob said these auction prices are very affordable. If only I was there. I mean, like we talked about before, when you have this many items, some stuff is gonna go cheap at some points in time. But definitely, you could tell in this auction there was a good collection of people that were only there for a specific category of thing. And you know, just some stuff people just aren't looking for. What you're gonna do? I put 7 of the black rice fish. I was in a rush. I took a terrible photo. But I put 7 of these that I had hatched and raised from Captain's Line in here for BAP. And they went for 14 bucks. I got $11.90 from that. I did a bag of Anacris. Why not? Those went almost at the very end. That went for $3. I got $2.55. Another bag of yellow Neocaridina. Okay, now this is, so you see how it went for 2 to Samuel Daisley. This is actually false. So they had the online bidding function activated for dry goods, right? But the problem was that I guess somehow it was still on for live stuff. Anyways, this Sam person, you know, not intentionally, but they basically fucked up a billion lots because when they bid online for it, this is kind of my interpretation of what happened, but when they bid online for it, it erased or overrode or just somehow messed up whatever the final sale price was supposed to be. So we'll see on a bunch of stuff that's $2. It's this Sam person, but I don't know what they actually went for, so that's the other lot that I need to figure out what happened. Then I did 4 orange sparkle Medaka. Those went for 22. Then I got mystery snails. One went for 7. Another group of mystery snails. One went for 6. And then the plecos, which another thing of plecos, which went for 10. So in total, the payout was $250 subtracted though from my purchases. So I left with $190 that I made from this auction. Now the caveat is I don't know if there's anything that I bought that wasn't recorded and maybe the amount will be adjusted. I have no idea. Bob said, "Where's Sam? I'm gonna get my mallet." I know. So here's a few things that I bought, and I do think that I'm missing an item here. So again, I think it'll probably even out with the shrimp lot and the crib lot. Like I think probably I won't owe any money after this, but I'm missing $30, and it's the Regenbach from Chris Diaz. I don't see that on here. I got a pair of those for 30. So what I got from the auction was what I just said, those killies. Then I got the Lagandra Bleeding Heart. I did it. I at least got one thing we talked about. I wasn't paying attention. I missed a couple other things we talked about, but I did get this. I'm pretty excited about that. So I got one of the Bleeding Hearts. I paid $10 for it. This one, you don't want to see the size of this. I got the Pugastebin Hellfry because the other bags of it were all going for 16. So I got this for 6. And it's just like one tiny little cutting of it from Andrew. Shout out to Andrew for that. Then I got the Cryptocorn Nuri. I got this little pot of it. I got that for $7. I was pretty happy about that. So I pretty much got the plants I was most wanting to leave. Those were the two I cared about the most. And the Hellfry was just a bonus. Then for 30, I got the BAP, which is 4 of these guys. Now, again, I need to double check on the sex ratio of these. There was a little bit of color pattern in all of their fins, but I don't know if the females for these have a little bit of color in their fins. They're younger, you know, it's a BAP, so I don't really know. Let's see. Is there a picture of the females in here? Let me see. Because if they have a little pattern... that doesn't look like the right fish to me. That looks like... almost look like a Galaris female. Well, I mean, I guess that could be it. I guess that could actually be it. Yeah, maybe it is. Well, regardless, we'll just have to see as those grow what that ratio turns out for. But I got the 4 young ones for $30. It was going up, went to like 25, then I was like 30. I wanted them. Mobility is a nice one. I got mine like I kept my crypts. That's what I'm hoping for. All right. Then I got a box of live rock coral. Then I got a split round breeding cave. And then I got Bacopa Carolina, but I accidentally outbidded Joe for it, and I felt bad, so I just gave it to her. Because I didn't really want it that badly. It was just like, it was near the end, and they're just trying to sell stuff, so I try and like bid on things, just like if no one's going fast enough to keep things moving. And I accidentally like bid against her $1, you know, so I just get under. So yeah. So my total I left was with 190. I think if they add the 30, then I don't know, with the 2 lot items that I think need to be fixed, that amount probably is almost 30. So I think that probably is accurate to what we ended up with. So I'll probably give some money to Melody. She helped me bag. And then I'm going to save some up because I'm hoping to make a trip to Louisa's store. And there's some fish that she got that I want. Because Mo Fish Movember has to continue. It absolutely has to continue. Now, luckily, we don't just have my seller's report to look at today. I got another seller's report in from, let's see. I don't remember if he said if he cared if I said that it was him, but I mean, it kind of be obvious who it is if you just look at the lots. But we got another seller's report. What's up, Jeremy? How's it going? All right. So, lot sold. Boop, 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 boop. 3, 2, 1 on the screen. And now I'm not on the screen. So, we got a couple lots here to look at. First off, we have 10 Neocaridina Davidii blue, a BAP. 10 is a lot for a BAP. I mean, it is shrimp, but still, 10 is a lot for a BAP. And, man, it's kind of crazy, but 10 of them went for $14, man. They were not rocking with the blue shrimp. I don't know if people were paying attention. I don't know what was going on, but, man, they were not rocking with the blue shrimp. So 10 of them went for $14. And then, funnily enough, later on, I think it was later on in the auction, the same seller, 10 Neocaridina Cherry Red, those went for $30. So then the final cut for that was $25.50 for the seller. And, you know, just goes to show you that sometimes people are looking for a specific thing. And look, people wanted red shrimp. So all those people saying, don't breed the red shrimp, breeding shrimp for you know, is dead. No one wants them anymore. Everyone has them. Look, man, people still fighting in these auctions over some cherry shrimp. Holy, man. Okay, then we got 4 Tatardina silicata. There's the peacock gudgeon, another BAP. Those went for $9, $7.65 ultimately for the seller. There was a couple lots of peacock gudgeons in here. Julie had a few lots of peacock gudgeons in there. So there was a bit of choice as far as that probably playing in there. This one, it honestly wasn't as bad as it could have been, but I think it was disappointed. There's 4 Elisoma Gilberti Wacasta Springs. I think someone mentioned the Elisoma earlier in the chat. Bob said Yellow Shrimp Master Race. The Yellow Shrimp have been pretty fun, man. I think it was KW in the chat earlier talking about the Elisoma. Yes, they're very pretty. 4 of them went for $30, which is, again, $25.50 to the seller. So not the worst. Not the worst. But, you know, depending on what you're used to selling them for, maybe you're disappointed. All right, then we got 10 plus of the gold barbs. Now, this bag was full. It was probably like, they were saying there was like 50 barb fry in there. This must have been for BAP. The BAP minimum is a month old, so they're at least a month old. I didn't see how big they were, but honestly, pretty good for that. It went for $35. So $29 to the seller ultimately. Then we have 2 pairs of Pacelio Wing Eye Japan Blue. I was surprised some of the Japan Blues went higher than I expected, just because they've been through these auctions a couple times. So those went for $14, $11.90 to the seller. We got 4 of the Gyrodanus Metallicus, the Black Chin Libearer. Those went for $9. Which is $7.65 to the seller. Then we had 4 Belvica Chromas Pulcher, a BAP, and this is going to Samuel Daisy for $2, which means we don't know what it actually went for. Sam, you bid on so many things, man. Your greed has ruined this auction. No, I'm joking. Okay. Then we have the Northobranchius Corythaus TZN 08 to 04. It says, I think it was a pair. I think it was a pair that it was before. 1 second. I gotta move it so we can actually see. Those went for $14, which is kind of low. $11.90 net to the seller. Samuel's the Grinch who stole Fishmas. Seriously. Then we have some P Wing Eye Indler de los Patos, 2 pairs. This is from Clay's line, so I think it's a pretty nice wild type Indler. Those went for $10, $8.50 net to the seller. All right, now we got to see the other side. So this is $141.95 payout for this seller. Let's see what kind of damage they did on the buying side, though. Okay, let's see. So over here, didn't even get anything he bid for. Poor chap. Over here, this guy picked up a trio of Aphysemia Australe Orange for $16. Not bad at all. Definitely, you know. That's definitely an affordable price. Then picked up some Java Moss for $6. Hygrophila Erogaya for $8. Microthymia Monte Carlo pot for $3. The Plant Fiend. Pogostemon Stellatus Desan for $6. Uh-oh. Now we know who it is. My 4 Bluefin Killifish for $9. Honestly, picked up a lot of great value lots here. Elheim Auto Feeder used $4. Aaron, what are you getting these for? Then 3D printed HOB printer small, $5. Short fin white bristle nose, $25, and then short fin white bristle nose, $34. Now the trick here is, again, I think that it looked like there was 1 in the bag, but apparently there's 2 of them in each bag. So it looks like a lot for 1, but it's actually for 2, which isn't that bad. That's like around 15 or less per pleco, so that's actually not too bad. So that's just a look on what it could look like on the seller side. Okay, this is a glimpse. There's a glimpse. Some things, some wins, some things that go cheap. I do wish that there was more stuff there that I felt like buying, but honestly, that money's gonna go to fish regardless. It's going straight to Louise's store, most likely. I was thinking about doing a Tropical Fish Co. order, but I gotta wait for them to put up something that I really want. I don't want to just order something just to order so I can be one of the first people. So I'm waiting for the updates. As soon as the thing comes that like I want enough, I'm gonna order it. I'm gonna hit the button on that for show, for show. Bob Bravo said those Snow Whites are popular. I'm a Blue Eye fan myself. Yes, are pretty the long fin ones especially. People love those. Okay, so let's just go into the auction a bit and let's take a look at a few things that we looked at before. Okay, and what they sold for. So as we scroll, let's just see. We had Ossogaster CW09 Green Laser Cory Juveniles. I think people thought there were more of them in the bag. Turned out there was only 2. Those went for $32, which, I mean, they're very expensive fish, Green Laser Corys. So I guess that's still not the worst price ever. Like, Aqua Imports has, let's see, they were at some point selling small ones for $37. So, I mean, it's an expensive fish. You know, what you gonna do? Let's see. We had the 2 baddest juveniles on Sex for $5. Here's another 6 Blue Dream Neocaridina for $12, which is kind of funny how 10 almost went for the same as 6, but it's shrimp number logic, man. It's all kind of the same. We got some plants, Utricularia, Limeria Purity female for 2. Ponytail Palm for 2. Marble Queen Pothos potted for 8. Let's see. We got some Anubias Barterai Veranana Petite Pot for 8. Aquarium Plants by Crystal Castleman. That's a book. This went for 11. I think I missed this one, man. Let's see. Aquarium Plants by Crystal Castleman. Let's see. I think that I missed this one. I think this is actually an expensive book. Well, at some point they were selling it for $80. I'm honestly not seeing it pop up that much. Okay, here's some versions of it for cheaper. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not seeing the same one pop up immediately. But anyways. Okay, this was kind of a steal. I wasn't really paying attention and went a little faster. But honestly, I don't need another rainbow right now. But Melitania Marase, I think it was 6 of them in the bag. And they went for $20, which is honestly pretty good. I think this is kind of an uncommon rainbow. I see Wet Spot is out of stock of them. They were selling them for $25 each, medium at one point. I see Sydney's Angel has them listed for, this is claiming for $12, but this page isn't even, they have them listed for $12 each. And that's for, is that for juvenile? Yeah, juvenile is for $12 per. Adult female is $22, and they're selling a breeding trio for $60. So yeah, 6 of them for $20. Pretty big win for the buyer. We had a L397 Red Alicure Tiger Pleco. This went for $50. I actually don't know what this one is off the top of my head retail, but let me just look that up real quick. And also, let me put the chat on the screen. It goes for $80 plus $15 shipping. Damn, I think that was the book that was at Guapa. I meant to bid on it. All the dry good stuff I meant to bid on, because I really wanted to get all the books for ASCM because I'm trying to start the club library. So I really messed up. Fishy Jersey said that's expensive for 397s. Yeah, I feel like that is pretty. Yeah, that's close to retail. It looks like Aqua Imports was selling small for $60 though, so I guess it's I see them for $7. It seems like $50 is around retail, but they're not in stock everywhere. So I don't know. Maybe if they're in stock now, that would be more. We had a pretty good size, I believe, L128 Blue Phantom Pleco. This went for $50. Also to bidder 528. So someone, honestly, catfish, and I keep saying this, at least for club auctions, do catfish. Do plecos, do catfish. Nick ignoring us. How am I ignoring you? I'm on live chat. Wait, what am I ignored? I responded to you saying you got the book for $100 shipping. I hope the other person who got it for $11 enjoys it. And I said the 80 plus thing. The book was a steal. Yep. Why are you guys thinking I'm ignoring you? You guys must be on a delay or something. Fishy Jersey said he responded to me, L. Andrew said I won it. Maybe we can make a digital copy for the club. Is that a legal issue? Honestly, Andrew won all the things that I meant to bid more on. So, but again, hey, if a friend wins it, I guess I can't be too mad. But yeah, the blue Phantom Pleco went for 50. Dan is selling them for 70. What spot? They're out of stock of them. They have a billion size options. I'm not looking through all those. Aqua Imports. They were selling smalls for 27, but who knows when that was. So yeah, I mean, 50 seems in the range of nearer retail price, but again, they're not available everywhere right now. So if you're looking for one, I guess that is kind of a pretty decent deal. Bob says he got his Phantom for 60. If you look hard enough, you can always find a free PDF for something. Yeah, but I feel like with the aquarium books especially, like, it's kind of fun reading them, like, hardcover because of the photos and stuff. We had some Cetodontis Petricola. Aqua Imports has them for 15 each small. I think it was 3 in the bag. Yep, 3 in the bag. Donation from Saburai Aquatics, so pretty nice. Those went for 40. Then another bag went for 35. And those, every single pleco and catfish here all went to number 528. I guarantee you, if those Galaxy Autos were in there, he would have walked away with one of those lots, if not both of them. So catfish were definitely one of the things that were consistently doing well in this auction on the fish front. Okay. So we have a longfin super red bristle nose. That went for 16 to 531. Then we have 528. We got the $2 bid that ruined it, so we don't know what it went for. But also, wait, guys, 528. No wonder. He actually won a lot of stuff, so no wonder he bid online on a bunch of things, too. This guy was just buying everything. So, guy or girl, because I actually don't. Well, wait, Sam D. Yeah, actually, yeah, I don't know. But this person was buying everything catfish related, so. Fishy Jersey said they had a Periodocinclus Harolda. No, there were supposed to be 2 lots of 3, groups of 3 of them, but apparently they either didn't make it in time or arrived DOA, depending on whoever donated them, which I missed. Mick says, my experiences, non-pleco keepers also get inspired when seeing them on auctions, so price is rarely low. Yeah, I think Corey's also do really well. We had a short fin blue eye lemon bristle nose. People really like the lemon blue eyes. I've noticed, like, a lot of people ask about them, like even more than the reds sometimes. But a short fin lemon blue eye went for 16. Then a short fin lemon blue eye went for 20. And I think it's just 1 in the bag. Those were donations from Saburai also. Then we had 2 of the Hoplosoma palliatum. There were 3 in each bag. 1 of them went for 14. The other one went for 35. And how much are these retail? I feel like that's pretty expensive. Yeah, What Spot has them for $6 to $7, and that's a minimum order 3. So yeah, 35. This one says quantity 4, but I think there was actually ended up being 3 in there. So I mean that's actually pretty good for whoever sold that. I guess the club. Damn, y'all have a good fish club. The Bucks County group is Oh, you go to Bucks County? Man, Bucks County hates me. Ross said shipping costs added. Shipping costs added. Sure, buddy. Okay, then we had Snow White Panda Cories. These went for $45. What's up, Ross, by the way? And again, this Sam person, they just got money to burn. They probably, I'm going to have to guess that there's someone that drove a long way or something, and they just felt like, look, I'm here, I'm going to buy everything. But Lewistic color form of the panda, so not albino. They don't have red eyes. And it was 3 of them. 3 for 45. I feel like, okay, I guess this upscale aquatic selling them for 15. Okay, they're a little bit more expensive, so I guess, yeah, that's not too bad. Still kind of floating around retail. Why did they hate there? You're talking about the Bucks in PA? Yeah, if you go back to my stream, I did a stream about one auction. I went there, and like someone started yelling when they were auctioneering. I talked about how irritating it was. I think that's one of the things. But if you also look at my live where I said responding to Callie Lloyd, she wrote like a 700 word post about how I'm destroying the world or something like that. I've actually never met her before, but yeah, I don't know. Honestly, the PA clubs in general, they got a lot of drama going on. Like, sometimes we be on here joking, like, you know, but I still go to ACM. We still rocking out. It's all fine. Man, the PA clubs, it's like high school, man. This person doesn't like this person. That person doesn't like this person. Like, this person's banned from that store. We don't support this place at this club. Like, it's a whole lot going on over there. KW said, yeah, PDF for group use is a copyright issue, but you can share info from the book, Spotlight, use book photos, as long as you cite it and use a couple other sources too. Okay, cool. But yeah, but in general, Bucks is just too far for me to go to anyway. Otherwise, I probably would, because I go to, disparately, I go to every damn fish meeting that I can. Mean Girl in fish groups is just insane work. Life is life, right? People don't like each other. It is what it is. Another lot of Snow White Panda Cories, $32. For those, I think it was another group of 3. What do you guys think about? So there's some strategy to this. I think it's good strategy, but for a lot of fish, like for the Cories, I noticed they'll split them into groups of 3. Because the number everyone has in their head for a group of Cories is 6, right? So if you buy one bag of 3, you're probably going to want to buy the other bag of 3. You're probably going to get more for 2 bags of 3 than 1 bag of 6, right? What's up, Flowers with Horns? I get it. It's a good strategy. It is kind of like irritating. It's kind of irritating on just the buying front, just because, damn, you're really going to force us to fight over 3 Cories. Like, what if someone does end up with just a bag of 3 Cories? Like, I don't know. It's kind of irritating, but you know, all's fair. All's fair. I probably just need to start doing it myself, honestly. But let me know what you guys think. Then we have the short fin Snow White Bristlenose Plecos. It does say that there's 2 of them here. $34 to bidder 61, which is Black Planet in the chat. Exposed. And then the other lot, $25 to bidder 61. It does say 2 quantity on there. Okay, so I just missed that. Mickham said, start breed then sell bags of 4. Yeah, exactly. Pooja said, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. That's more humane to keep them in bags of 3. Listen, man, I think people generally care about fish well-being or whatever, but not that much. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I'm doing 3 bags of Cories for more humane or whatever. Shut up. I would call bullshit if someone said that to me. If you can still have one lot of 2 bags of 3, you just tape them together. People do that. But honestly, at these auctions, usually it's just one big bag and all the fish still in one bag. You don't really see people split it into 2 unless it's pairs of something. Ross said 3 is dumb unless it's a breeding trio. Yeah, and then, you know, with Cories, I'm not good at sexing Cories, really. It's most of the time I don't have a reason to. It's a vibe thing. Usually I'm getting a group, you know, and then through behavior I can kind of guess my ratio. Some of them are easier than others. But Pooja said I retract my original statement. There you go. I said hi to Flowers with Horns. Okay, then, so we had, you saw the big bags of swordtails, of livebearers. We get to those. And here is some blue ramshorn snails. 2 lots went for $2, and 1 lot went for $9. So let's look at the time. Okay, at 3 p.m. So that's a little bit earlier in the auction. When did these other 2 go? 5, yeah. Okay, 5, and then, oh, this person got unlucky, man. So their first bag of blue ramshorns went earlier, went for 9, then later. Both went for 2 to the same person. So, man, just goes to show you the timing. And we talked about maybe using the bump feature, which I think ultimately I don't feel like I missed out too much on not using it. But I will say that at least they didn't announce it. I don't think I saw many people utilize the priority label on this one. I don't. I think there was one that I remember seeing. If anyone else was there and saw them, let me know. Fish Jersey said, "Do Northos sell well at your group? I may make the drive." If there was a nice one that the Killy people there didn't already have, I think it would do all right. The problem is that, like, I think the ones that went for 14 here, people didn't appreciate, but we'll get to it. So this was 10 neon and green sword tails in the bag. Again, all the libraries look really nice. 3 lots of them. One went for 6, one went for 5, and one went for 14. Aaron said I only heard one bump. Yeah, which is kind of crazy. Like, I don't know. I would kind of think that more people would use them. Use that flood of the market with them, maybe. I think if more people would use, like, if those wet spot or whatever donations were in there, maybe it would have been used for those. But the thing is, the club opens up with doing donations. Now, I don't know if they did all the donations at the start or if they eventually started mixing it, but it was just straight donations for the first bit. So you wouldn't have had to use the priority to get some of the best stuff in the auction anyway. We have some bags of Flame Very Addis Platies. It says 6 adults descended from Charles Clapsaddle's line, hardy, energetic, highly prolific, great for University of Texas fans. 1 bag for 10, 1 for 6, and 1 bag went for 6. Okay, 2 for 6 and 1. We got some marble sword tails. This is kind of interesting. Descended from the red Marble King Loudtail line. I'll look this one up because this seems like a particular thing. Like that female looks really like it's not red, but it's marbled, but the male is red. Like I'm just intrigued actually by this. Let me see what's going on here. Is this like an actual thing? Sometimes with some of these live bears, they're so like specific and stuff. Like, okay, so I see it's kind of a thing, but okay, I digress, or whatever you say in these situations. Okay, those went for $9, and I believe that was a pair. Oh wait, 1 male, 1 female, and 6 juveniles. All right, so you got the whole family unit. Hydrocaudal Tripartia Mini went for 3. This one went relatively low. I kind of considered bidding on it, but Rafadora Bakari Rare. We talked about this on stream a decent bit. That went for $10. It didn't seem like most people really knew what it was. I think Big Steve bid on that one, or at least one of them. A projected young pair of German Blue Rams. This actually did pretty good for this auction, honestly. This went for $26. Can't be mad at that. I'd be happy, honestly. We had some Fundle Panchix Garden Eye Gold Killifish. This went for, as a young pair, went for $7. You're saving a lot of money there for sure. The Tube Effects Culture, we saw a picture of that. That went for $12. People are tripping. 30 plus scuds, $14. People, they want scuds. There's some people that are just catching up on what scuds are and wanting them, but they don't realize they suck. Isopod Agenda, let's go. Then we have all these Daphnia Magnas. There are giant containers of Daphnia Magna. Looks like it went from $7 to $16 is the range. There are 7 lots of them. So pretty decent prices. You could have gotten some cheap Daphnia Magna cultures. Had a lot in there, good density. Definitely like 400 plus range on some of those. Walter Worm culture for $5. Vinegar eels for $5. This is me, the Aphosimian Regenbaki Ninokama pair. Actually, I put them in the 40 breeder because it just has cribs and the puffers in there. And I've been filling the top with tons of plants. And I was like, honestly, they're probably going to be able to have some fry in there. There's a lot of space. I know it sounds like there could be a lot, but honestly, there's a lot of space in that tank and a lot of cover. And I was like, I've been liking doing the killifish passively when I can, and I have a feeling it's going to work out. So I put the pair in there, and I actually got a pair previously that I'm going to put in there too, I think. But I got that for 30. The minimum was 20. I just went out the gate with 30. No one bid against me. Bam! That's how we do. Blixa species red, that went for 8. Aaron said, don't forget to talk about the banana worms. I won't. We had this bonsai tree, very nice. Started dwarf jade bonsai, went for $20 to Big Steve. Big Steve bought a lot of stuff. Bucephalandra chocolate, that says no bid, so I guess that one probably just didn't show up. These look kind of cool. These electric, black and electric blue mollies. Like, look at this. This is pretty cool. Mix it over here. A bidder can pay extra $2 to get selling. Well, to bring up a certain item. Yes, that was an option here too. Just no one seemed to really use it. I only heard it once. So yeah, this seems like a bit of a nicer molly. But anyways, how many was in the bag? Yeah, 12 of them in the bag. A lot. It says 12 juveniles, mix of sailfins and sailfin lyre-tails. The center for my electric blue molly line, which was originally imported from Indonesia, rare in the USA. I thought about it. I knew that that these were a nice fish. I like how they look, but I don't know. I actually really was into these albino platinum gold sailfin mollies. Now, if I wasn't talking so much, maybe I would have done them. But anyways, the black and electric blue mollies, 12 in each bag. One went for 22, one for 10, and then one went for 20. And the one that went for 10 was all the way almost at the end of the auction, so you can see going near the end is really fucking bad if you care about how much money you get for a lot. It's terrible. Devastating, in fact. Okay, so albino platinum sailfin mollies, 8 juveniles, a mix, imported from Indonesia. I thought they looked really cool. 8 in each bag. One went for 30, one went for 5, and one went for 16. The one that went for 5 was at 5:44 p.m. Remember, the auction ended at like around 5:55 p.m., so right at the end. So from $30 to $5. Let's see, when did the $30 one go up? It went up at 2:53, so pretty close to the beginning. The auction started a little bit late, so around like 1-ish, 1:15-ish did it start. And the one that went for 16, that was at 4:42. So even just an hour difference from 16 to 5, and from the beginning from 30 to 5. So definitely you could see how the bump, if you cared about your profit, if you did the bump, you paid the $2, you know, you probably could make that money back. It's just kind of annoying to have to do that. I just think a lot of people, that it's more fun to not know when your thing's coming up. Honestly, that's what it is for me. I just like the suspense as part of the fun, you know. So just doing the bump kind of feels like cheating, and also isn't as much fun. We have red and orange swordtails. These look pretty fancy. We got 3 lots of them. 25 young adults in the bag. And I'm telling you, like, people at these auctions just don't have enough take space, apparently. One went for 30, one went for 27, and then one went for 16. Which I guess, you know, considering some of the other prices we've seen, it's not the worst, but it's a lot of fish, man. Like, you could just keep a pair and take the rest wherever you wanted to, really. Oh, wow, the air-powered fry tray, that went for 23 bucks. John making out like a bandit with these fry pay, making some money back. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, here's the Nothos that apparently Aaron thinks he's flooded the market. 1 pair for 14 bucks. That's pretty affordable. That's pretty affordable. And honestly, what are these? Are these endlers worth anything? Let's see. Or is this one of those things that you can't really find? I don't know. Okay, this was kind of crazy. I thought for sure people would bid this up. Okay, a UNS bonsai 015 with Java moss and stem plants. I mean, it just says UNS on it, so, you know, I thought it would be expensive, but these are, you know, 63 to 100 something bucks. Kind of expensive. Went for $15, which was the minimum. I thought about bidding on it, but I all the stuff I thought I was gonna bid on, I didn't, because I thought I was waiting to buy something, and I just never ended up buying things, really. So, you know, John was asking if we thought he'd at least get $5 for the fruit fly cultures, the wingless fruit fly cultures. He got 10 for one and 7 for the other. I predicted it would at least hit 10. I was at least right on one of them, but definitely over $5. So congrats to him for that. Then we have another UNS Bonsai 021 with Java Fern growing on. This went for $10. I should have bid on this one too. This, honestly, I was surprised. I mean, there was a lot of plants, but I guess there was a lot of plants just going more affordably. If you want abuse. Oh man, it is what it is. All right. Let's see what else we got in here. I haven't gotten to the banana worms yet. That's where I really want to get to. Got some water Sprite. XL water Sprite, $10. Look at that. Oh, okay. So I think this is the one. No, maybe it's not the one. Well, anyway, the Saphophorus Helleri Rio Atoya went for $5, and this is a trio of juveniles breeding age. I guess that's not. Well, there's no way to spend $5. I mean, you probably want more than $5 for it, but it is what it is. We have marble angelfish. 4 young marble angelfish. I thought about bidding on these. I've been angel curious. Those went for 20. And I will say, to the website designer, bro, we need who's selling each lot back on the front again. And also, can we get the quantity on the front too? Because I hate having to click in to see the quantity. That's kind of irritating. All right. Then another thing of 4 marble angelfish went for 12. So, I mean, hey, man. What is that, $3 an angelfish? Let's go. Yeah, the Pulcher. Okay. Let's kind of go down. The Elisoma, that one for 30. Okay. Here's the Valnana Daily River. That one for 10. Okay, we're going. Man, I meant to bid on this more, but the pound of freeze-dried the 1 gallon bag of freeze-dried Tubifex worms went for $9, and then the 3 ounces went for $5. Man, that gallon bag though, come on. All these tissue cultures, 1 billion tissue cultures. These items didn't show up. Got some plants. Look, the new Tetra Whisper IQ 30-gallon HOB went for $25. People are bidding up the dry goods. This is what it's come to, huh? This is what it's come to. The Bucephandra needle leaf, a little tissue culture, went for $12 there. 2 lots of juvenile Emetillania nigrofasciata went for $2 each. Okay, more tissue cultures. You guys can look on the screen for the plants. I don't feel like going through a bunch of plants. It's all a bunch of $5, $6. The Ludwigia White went for $20. I knew at least one person that was looking for them specifically there, so I'm not surprised that got bid. This Hygrophila Aragaia went for $18. It went for cheaper later. But that's one people are fighting over. Also, this Buse could a gang tissue culture went for $16. Kind of feels a little bit high. Let's look up. I guess that is right around retail, slightly below. Let's see. Aquarium Co-op's got them for $16. So there you go. Spend like $80 more, you get free shipping. Let's go. Okay, another needle leaf. Here's a young unsexed axolotl. It was pretty big, man. These are young. $15 for that. I think that went to. No, that wasn't Scotty. Scotty's bidder $66. Yeah, here we go. This one was a little surprising. So I almost bid on this, but I just wasn't that interested. But 6 juvenile unsexed gold dragon bristlenose. Now, I don't really quite understand what gold dragon means. Like, is this an albino with a green dragon pleco? I don't know why that would be specifically cool or not. But regardless, I don't know. It just seemed like something different. It went for $18, which I don't know. I felt like maybe. Let's see. Let's look up gold dragon versus Los Pleco and see if that's something people pay for. I see gold spot. It's not really showing up. Green dragon, albino green dragon. This is in the UK. Albino green dragon Bristlenose pleco. Please, can I buy it? Is this something I can buy? Well, there you go. It's rare. So, yeah, maybe that is cheap. Rare just means something that within 2 seconds of Googling effort I can't find. Jersey says 20 for a Kid Gang culture. Seems kind of expensive. Yeah. Green/gold dragons got to be from Asia, right? I guess. 2 more axolotls, one for 17, one for 15, another one for 15. We got the Emeltalania, Sequoia, Rio Bagasis. These are all over the place here. There's just one. One for 2. Plants. Here's a hydrocaudal tripardia tissue culture for 14. That kind of seems a little high. Yeah. Man, oh man. Yeah, that seems... Listen, these things happen. It happens to the best of us. We got 3 peacock gudgeons for 6, another 3 for 9. We got... I almost bid on this, but the tissue culture Cryptonkinensis, that went for $3. 2 lots of the Valscenaria Gigante, one went for 12, one went for 16, then another one for 6. This is one that really surprised me. Well, no, it didn't really surprise me. No, I wasn't surprised at all. But this is one that, like, maybe was a little low. 2 pairs of Zephyrus May. One lot went for 10, the other one for 8, and the other one for 6. 2 pairs in each. That is a pretty big steal. Then we have the Zephyrus Montezuma Rio Tamasopo. 6 juveniles that went for $20, and I believe that the seller just pulled all those motherfuckers after it went for that. Because I think that's pretty low, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think there was more lots of it up. But I think those bags got pulled. Some bags with swordtails. Hey. But anyways, wild type swordtails, kind of a niche thing. Here we go. Juvenile black cars, 10 Panda King isopods. Those went for $10. 6 Nisadillo Arcangeli SP Yeti isopods. Those went for 18. Isopods did a lot better this auction than they have or at least more consistent than they have in the past. 12 Persilio Scaber Orange went for 12. 10 Persilio Scaber Lava went for 18. I should have brought some. Yeah, excuse me. These are kind of cool. 6 miniature owl snails, Subelina Octona. That went for $14. Here's the Blue Dream Bap. It went for 6. 6 went for 18, which is more than the 10 that Aaron Bap. Sorry, man. The Dairy Cows got $7. All right. 2 pairs of these Killifish for 6. Juvenile Electro Blue Cars. How many per bag? 4 per bag. 1 went for 12. 1 bag went for 5, and 1 bag went for 4. We have BC Maple isopods. These are pretty nice. Just a little bit cryptic. Those went for 12 to Steve, I believe. And then we have 12 Magic Potions isopods, which went for 30, which is pretty good. I'd be happy about that. Then here we have Stolen. These were... It says 7. There are 9. These were giant XXL albino corridors. They went to Andrew for... Oh, it says to Abdallah. Maybe there's more than 1 bag. Anyways, $36. Can't be sad about that. Cannot be sad about that. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Those are pretty cool. So, like I said, a pretty good auction for isopods, honestly. We have the Encyclopedia of Aquarium Plants. I don't know anything about this book, but it's by Peter Hissock. That went for $9. Electric blue crayfish went cheap this time. We have 5, 5, 5 for 3 different lots. Back to Nature Aquarium Guide. This book went for 9. Again, I meant to bid on the books and stuff more for the club library, but I wasn't on top of things. This lot of Ludwigia White went for 12. Cryptocorn Eusteriana went for 39. Yo, I missed the Bacopa. Okay, that didn't go up. Cryptocorn Richard Spirulus went for 9. Okay, let's see. Where's the fish at? Now, you're getting the experience of what it was like at one point in the auction. It was just straight plants for a while, and you're just like, okay, I'm kind of getting burnt out. Okay, we have 4-pack of some young Nanochromis transvestitis bred by the best Nanochromis transvestitis breeder in the world, Big Steve. 1 bag went for 25, 1 bag went for 18. Honestly, not bad. A lot of these West African cichlids are underrated, and again, we've seen how some cichlids have done in this auction so far. Well, fish in general. Elite friend of mine started Back to Nature. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Okay, Steve, again, catfish. This is a great time to be bringing catfish to the event, honestly. And I got more buyers reports in that. So you tell me, would you be happy? Just tell me in the chat as we go through. If you were this buyer, would you be happy with this buyer's report? That's what we're going to do, okay? So here we go. Let's judge this buyer's taste, okay? Everyone strapped in for this? Everyone? Ready? Ready for judgment? All right, here we go. So, starting off, we have Bacopa lanigera, $3. Anubias congonensis pot, $14. Riccia fluations, fluitons, $5. Limnophila hippioidoides, $3. Postegomon stellatus decin, $8. Golden melon sword Echinodorus osiris, $9. Cryptocorn reprostyrus, $9. Bacopa salzmani purple, $12. Hygrophila aerogaria, $7. Wow, that went higher in a few other places. Irocolon SP Vietnam, $9. Taxiphyllum barberi Bogor moss, $5. Taxiphyllum spiky moss, $7. Cryptocorn Wedenti green, $7. Illicaris pusilla mini tissue culture, $6. Illicaris pusilla mini, another TC, $4. And then the Val Nana Daily River, 10. Echinodorus Hattie red pearl, 16. Mixed platies for 16. Sheep moss in a pot for 7. And Hygrophila triflora for 3. $160 bought almost entirely in plants. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Good judgment on this buyer? I'll let you decide. I'll let you decide. I feel like there's a few good pickups in here. I'm not in this much need of plants, but definitely if you were, probably save a good bit of money on this one. Probably. All right, we got one more buyer's report to go through. One more to go through. Couple fish said good amount for 160. Bob said that's a veteran bidder. Okay, we're co-signing the judgment. All right. What's up, Moneyless Maven? Dinosaur in the chat. All right, so far everyone's rocking with this buyer, thinking they made some good choices. Veteran bidder, that's high praise. That's high praise. That's high praise. Now let's do one more. This is a slightly smaller, nice price for those plants for the buyer. Okay, buyer for the buyer. Okay, buyer doing well. I think most of those plants were probably donated, so no one really losing out there. All right, for this next one, this is a bit less items, a bit more conservative buyer, but here we have Ludwigia ovalis pink for 2. This is one I meant to bid on, bro. I meant to bid on that. Bro, I was so mad when that went and I didn't bid on it, but I'm glad this person got it. It's fine. But I was like, God damn it, I fucked up. Cause I think that's the one Couple Fish said was one of their favorites. It was one of the pink things. I forget. Utricularia vulgaris for 2. Althenia reneki Rose Navira Via for 6. Ludwigia Red Skeleton for 6. Hydrocaudal Tripardia for 4. Hotania Palistris for 12. And Lobella Cardinalis Mini for 12. What do you think? Good job on the buyer here. A little bit shorter list, but 44 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lots for 44 bucks. That seems pretty good to me, honestly. Let me know what you think. Steve was cleaning up though. Like I said, catfish were the name of the game here. A couple fish said they overpaid for a couple things on my own, but overall not bad. Yeah, I think what was it? The 2 tissue cultures. I think 2 tissue the Palistris and the Lobella Cardinalis. I think. Besides that, everything else was literally as low as it could be for some of them. But here we have the red lizard cattails. I think it was 1 in each bag, and they're pretty small. They're younger, and I mean, people are going hard on them. $22 for one, $20 for another bag, $30 for another bag, and $35 for another bag. So people were digging it. Also, this digital pH meter went for $36, and this Cryptocorn Redenti Red went for $16. It was a pretty big bunch, though. I remember that. I do remember that. Echolocaris parvilla went for $3. Honestly, some of these went for a little cheaper. I should have bid on them. I don't know, man. Honestly, at one point, a guy in front of me, a nice fellow from, I think he goes to PVAS quite regularly, he was like, "Are you here? Are you just selling or are you buying?" Because I really wasn't. I don't know what was up with me, man. I just wasn't feeling like buying a lot of this stuff. Okay, here we go. We're just going down, scrolling down. You can kind of see some of the prices as we go. Yeah, this Pugastegmon Helferi went for 16. I feel like it was like 3 little stems in there, I want to say, but I didn't get a good look at it, so don't quote me on that. A mother pot of Echinodorus Ocelot went for $30, which was nice, because a lot of the big swords don't go for too much sometimes. You would expect more. Dwarf Baby Tears Mat, that went for 9. Not Anubius Nanji on Driftwood went for 14. A couple of fish said 16 for 3 pogo is insane. Yeah, I paid $6 for one extremely small. Well, okay, not extremely small. Let me not be rude. For one, it's expensive out here, man. People really want that stuff. Every auction I've been in that's in, it's done pretty well. Okay, we have loaches. Okay. Here we have some axolotls. Axolotl copper went for 20. Axolotl lavender went for 50. And an axolotl lavender went for 10. This is a random photo. The one that went for 10 did go... No, the one that went for 10 went relatively soon after the other one. So there must have been a sex thing or something about it, why people didn't want it as much. Is it NTC? I don't think it was. That was Beta Rubra. That was my lot. That's a male, adult male, Beta Rubra. Okay, assassin snails. One bag went for 8. One bag went for 10. I think there's 5 in each bag. Red Empress Juvies. Protomilus teniolatus. 5 in each bag, I believe. One bag went for 12, and the other bag went for 10. Now these are a food I meant to bid on more. EBO Insect Soft Grand Food. This one went for 9, and this one went for 9 as well. I meant to bid on that. That's like a fancy food. I don't know how much I care about fancy foods, but I did want to try it. Any sword plant from LFS here is $11 to $14. Yeah. Is it in okay? Yeah, you said no plant in TC should ever be more than 1 per stem, in my opinion. Okay. Most of the stems weren't in TC. We had Nothrobranchius Guntheri pair. That went for $7. I mean, I didn't actually look at them, so I don't know what they looked like. No, I'm saying it's produced by TC companies, so there's literally no amount of demand will ever reach supply numbers. Okay. It's low. I don't think it's the best picture. Also, again, for the killifish people that are there, maybe a location could have helped it, or something a bit more But also, wait, what time did that one go up at? Let's see. No, it went up at 3, so not too late. Yeah, not too late. Yeah. I mean, sometimes this is what happens. Okay, let me go back to where I was because I lost my spot. We're almost to the bottom. We're making good progress on this. We're making good progress. Okay, wild axolotl, one went for 10, one went for 16. The golden albino axolotls, though, one went for 40 and one went for 55. Both to the same person. They went pretty close together. I was surprised the axolotls had some that went for more, just based on how many there were. But I know nothing about them and what they should be. I hope whoever bought the ram's horn picked up a Hydrocotyle tripartia plant too. That plant grows fast, and the ram's horns are little plant shredders. Really, ram's horns eat plants for me. This crescent tank went for 5. The only cheap tank. The Festivum cichlid, this is 1. There are 2 bags of 1. This was actually funny because they went like right at the beginning. Yeah, 118 they sold at. Right at the beginning, and both of them went for $2. So, rip for those fellows. I haven't seen Festivums in a while. Fish Jersey said, yeah. The Rusty Cichlid, this one for 2. These are in almost every auction, and they go for $2 every single time. Every single time. Mandy's fertilizer balls went for 3. Steve bought them. Who did he bid out for that? Ben placed a bid and tapped out at $3. That's all it took. Okay. Lies Sphagnum Monster went for 5. How much are they going for? I missed it. One of the the albino axolotls went for 40 and the other for 55. Mick said Festivums need large tanks. Most keepers can't buy them. Yeah. Any semi-medium-sized fish, you really got to make sure the right people are there for it to do all right. Betta sororities. These honestly did better than I expected. One went for 24, one went for 70. There's a lot of bettas in that bag. 8 female bettas raised together. The 5-pound CO2 tank that ended up going for $31 to Big Steve. There you go. The turtle rescues, those both went to, I think, Abdallah. I don't know what his bidder number is. They both went to the same person. I think they went to him. I don't know. I missed it. But they both went to 106. You're good with the 75 for the Festivums? I have an empty 75 now. My daughter wants an Oscar. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Wow, that driftwood went for 23. Okay, let's see. We need more fish. The Expel F went for 13, 20 packs. The USA Biothermal, man, I put in my bid for 12. I was outbid. They bid it up to 17, man. Who would have thought? Who would have freaking thought, man? Okay, this was like the real degeneracy. So the top fin 2.5s with the lid, the light, and the heater. One went for 19. One went for 19. One went for 21. Those 3 were all to the same person, and then one went for 21. I mean, with the lid and stuff, like, I get it. I see it. I mean, I wouldn't want to buy 3 2.5s myself for $60, even with everything included, but I get it. There's some nice value there, so got a nice lid and stuff, good pickups. Whoever was selling this, I think they got to be happy about that, right? Was there a minimum on this? I don't think there was a minimum. That's not too bad. All the USA hate last stream. I mean, it only got to 17, so I mean. Okay, for some reason these tanks did way better than that other half moon tank one. And then the square tank everyone was hating on went for $36. The minimum was 25. It went all the way to 36. Okay, you guys are a bunch of haters. It went all the way to $36. I could have used 6 of the. I could have a use for 6 of those 75s. Need somewhere to keep my pistols for grow up, but my APT already stacked with tanks. We got an API CO2 booster for 1, on the Leaf Zone for 2, API Aqua Essential for 2. The Sense Whale external filter for 12. Neolamp Progress Multifasciata, 6 juveniles for 11. And then here we go, the Aspidoris Ramundi C125 Spilotus, 6 juveniles. The minimum was 20. One bag went for $24 and the other for $35. Then we had 6 Rubber Ducky Isopods, Cubaris SP. Fishy Jersey said rimless, kind of. See? That's the power. That's the absolute power. Yeah, the Rubber Duckies, Cubaris, 6 of them, $40. Not too bad. I mean, they're pretty expensive isopod, and not too many people at clubs yet are into the terrestrials, so I feel like that's honestly a decent price. You guys can tell my expectations are low. We have 1 male, 2 females, and I'm saying a decent price for the seller. That's what I'll say. 1 male, 2 females. Aphysimium Vivitanum Funge for $12. Not bad. Pretty decent deal. We have the Owl Volcano Schuster Cum HLM 99 to 1 pair. Killifish, $24 for those. The external filters we were all trashing last time all went unsold. Okay, so we're right on those. A lot of the decor did go unsold, so we were right about those minimums being a bit optimistic. The caves though, we were right. This one did get sold and it went for $21. So people did bid that one up. This one did hit the minimum of 5. $12 is okay, Mick said. I bred pink pearl ram's horns for a bit, and yeah, they're like tank bunnies. They just nom the plants down to stems. I lost all my Nubius Nana. Damn, I didn't know that about ram's horns. I'm scared. I am scared. But yeah, a lot of that decor did end up not being sold, as well as the Choya wood. I did think that was an optimistic minimum. Okay, the Anubius Broad White. I think these didn't originally sell, but they brought them up later, and they went for the minimums, 15 for each. Then 15 for a mangrove, 5 for a mangrove, the red mangrove, and then 12 for another red mangrove. The pink flamingos in the pot, 1 went for 10, 1 went for 10, and 1 went for 9. Wait, this one maybe wasn't sold actually. Hold up. The Bucephalandra variegated, 1 went for 12, 1 went for 16. Okay. The Echinodorus Aflame, 1 went for 12 and 1 went for 8. And then Lagandra Bleeding Heart, 1 went for 8 and then 1 went for 10 to me. I'm the one that paid more. I've been got. And then the Amania SP Bonsai, that went for 6. And then yeah, the Raffador Bakari here went for 10. So we've now reached the end. We've scrolled through the entire auction and called out things. And I just want to make sure we didn't forget the banana worms. Scotty brought banana worms. I think I was auctioneering for these, and one of the banana worms in the tiny little deli cup went for $14, and the other one for $11. So, come on, man. That banana worm come up. 25 off the worms. Can't complain about that. Just a little starter cup. I'm about to get back on my microworm game or something, man. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But okay. So I hope you guys feel all right after that. Now, just imagine you were there from 1 p.m. to 6 plus checkout time. That's how long it took to get through the auction. It took us about an hour just to read through a couple of the sales numbers. So you can see this could be quite the timely affair. This can be quite the timely affair, but there are deals to be had. I think there's a lot of buyers and sellers that have moments to be happy, but overall, I would say I hope it's not the case that they knew about the DOAs or the delays of the delivery of the one items ahead of time, even a little bit. I think that should have been announced. And then one weird thing is at one point they announced that there was elections for the president and some other things happening after the auction or nominations. I don't know what that was about, but like I think it's pretty obvious that no one is going to fucking be voting or nominating people for board positions after an auction that long. They're going to be checking out and leaving as quickly as possible. And then the announcement was kind of in the middle. It's kind of confusing if like, wait, is that happening tonight or next meeting? I don't know what's going on there, if that actually happened, but that was just something like, what? It's like if you wanted to maximize for people not voting. But yeah, besides just, you know, a bunch of really cool items, unfortunately, not being there. There were some sound issues initially that did get fixed. I mean, it felt like it was a pretty successful auction. I feel like I don't have too much to complain about. Some of the stuff wasn't there that I really wanted to bid on, but, you know, shit happens. It is what it is. Overall, I bought some stuff. The stuff I sold paid for the fish, and I got to take away some. So I feel like it was a win for me. I was just pretty tired. And you guys see all the prices. If you go to auction.fish, you can go scroll through the auction yourself. That's one of the things I love about the site. You can go to any auction, anywhere, and just see what things went for. And you guys can go see what you think went too high or too low, but we just isolated a few things. Jesse said, who's the president now? I mean, I think it should just still be Mandy. I'm not sure. Dang it, tiger lilies for $7. They go for 30 pounds in my area. Oh my god. Wow, 30 pounds. Whew. Yay, banana worms. He's made his money back. Yeah, he bought banana worms from Captain. And now I can't say the same about my rice fish yet. Hold up. Well, yeah, so there you go. It just means those items not showing up just means that like I need to make a bunch of money so I can go back to Luis's store or order online and get everything, because Luis does have some of the stuff that was supposed to be in there, and shit, I guess I gotta go buy it now, right? Jesse said, placed my first official plant order this morning. We shall see. Oh, that also reminds me, the ACLC swap is coming up. Jesse, just one more fish in the chat, has a pretty good list of stuff that he's bringing there. So if you did not make this auction because it was too far, maybe you're more in the PA area, if you're closer to Lancaster, the Aquarium Club of Lancaster County is having a swap November 15th, and that's going to be at, bro, what the hell is going on with, I just went to the freaking marketplace. Okay, give me a second. I don't know what's going on with this Facebook, man. I can't stream and like navigate at the same time. Aquarium Club of Lancaster County. Yep. There we go. Jesse said, yeah, come see me. Looking forward to your fish from Luis. She got some awesome fish. Yeah, man. Definitely. Okay. So, Aquarium Club of Lancaster County. I should have put in the title. It's going to go over a few events coming up. Yeah, I'll stream again tomorrow. I'm not going to go through the whole list of events. I'll just go over this quickly. But just since it came up, yeah, here's the list of vendors that are going to be there. And yeah, some good ones in here. Of course, just one more fish. So, at that pet place, November 15th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And everyone's posting their sneak peeks of their fish in here, so you can start to see what's going on. I bet if we go here, We'll see the list of fish that Jesse is bringing. A bunch of catfish. I might have to. I'm definitely gonna have to. If he has some small Synodontis type things, I might have to pick those up. I want to breed some Synodontis. I want to breed some more catfish. Let's see, how big does this one get again? This might be one of the ones that we said. Yeah. I might have to pick up some of the... I don't know. Actually, I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, though. I'm not 100% sure if I can make it at this point. Got bumblebee Oscars. We got some blue spotted hill trout. Pretty cool. The fire barbs. Of course, one of my favorites. Got the freshwater river prawns. Those look pretty sick. Man, a bunch of mormrids. Holy shit, there's a lot of mormrids. Wonder if any petricola still. And then maybe some of these African tetras. I might have to, if I get any more Congo tetra eggs by then that are good, then maybe I'll consider some more African tetras. But I need to make another rack. I hate that I'm even saying that, but shit, it fucking is what it is, man. It is what it fucking is. But okay, ACLC swap. Is Featherfin Hill here? I don't know. Is that Microceno a torrent cat? I don't know. What is a torrent cat? That's a good question. Congo. See, because I want African catfish. I want some African catfish from my West African tanks. I got all these tanks with like Congo fish from the Congo in them. Habitat in the Congo and Ogawi River basins. Okay. Jay said I'm getting another batch of petrichor at the swap. Nice, nice. Mick said, thanks for streaming, Nick. Dropping off soon. Sleep is close. Okay, Mick. You always say that. You always say that. Honestly, I probably need to go to sleep here soon too, but because it's in the title, I have to hit this at least a little bit. It was kind of interesting. I'm gonna put the link to this in the chat for people to check out. This is just a generally an interesting site to check out in general. I just said generally twice. The Ornamental Aquatic Trade Association. Okay, this is in the UK. But what's very interesting about this is just, you know, you're getting a look at another country, another aquarium industry thing, and they post regularly. A lot of these, like, aquarium news, hobby-related sites, like, they don't post stories regularly at all. But there's been, like, a lot of activity here. And one of the cool ones, which I put in the title, was their response to the Scottish Animal Welfare Commission's call for a code of practice for farmed and ornamental fish. Okay, there was a report, and they had to do a response to it. They were kind of salty because they didn't really collaborate with them on the report. It says OATA, which is the Ornamental Aquatic Trade Association. It says they support the report's recognition of fish as sentient beings and is pleased to see growing awareness of their welfare needs. However, we're urging caution over a one-size-fits-all approach. So, of course, they're mad. People are coming in to regulate. They didn't talk to the people that do the work in the most. And this is where you see how people making policy versus the reality of the situation sometimes can be fraught. Because if you're making the laws for something you don't necessarily understand, you might regulate it in a way that is just OD, ineffective, and basically is bad for all parties, right? The Sino-Benesota, or upside-down swimmers. Ooh, cool. So, here's some of the responses to some things in that report. So one part of the report says, 1, given that fish are sentient, their welfare needs should receive the same consideration in the formulation and implementation of policy as those of terrestrial vertebrate species. So I said, and their response, I'll read in a second here, but this is a good example of like, okay, these people come in, they didn't talk to this trade association, and they're just saying, yeah, we should make this the same as the terrestrial vertebrate species. And we're saying here like, okay, you definitely can't treat them as the same thing, right? So their response was, while we would support this recommendation in principle, the difference between aquatic and terrestrial vertebrates cannot be overstated. Often a completely different approach needs to be taken when considering aquatic vertebrates. For example, in transport requirements, right? The packaging requirements outlined in our code adhere to standards set out in the International Air Transport Association's live animal regulations. This is important because only trained or experienced individuals should handle packaging and unpacking of fish. Unlike air-breathing animals, fish are highly susceptible to harm if disturbed during transport. And then they respond to, on page 22, number 7, in circumstances where the Scottish government has identified that its policy may have an adverse effect on animal welfare, and where that may be an impact on the welfare of fish, it should undertake and publish the results of a welfare impact assessment in order to identify the nature and extent of the possible adverse effects. What's up, Skull Aquatics? Their response, measuring welfare of ornamental fish as a part of an impact assessment is not a straightforward process. There's currently no universally agreed upon methodology beyond ensuring the 5 welfare needs are met as set out in the Animal Health and Welfare Scotland Act of 2006. The qualitative behavioral assessment mentioned in this report, like most examples of captain fish welfare monitoring, is primarily focused on commercial food fish farming. Ornamental fish require a different approach due to many factors, including but not limited to 1. The vast number of species in the trade, upwards of 3,000, and the associated variety in their behaviors, lifespan cycles, and water quality/enrichment requirements. 2. Complex mixed species assemblages affecting interactive behaviors. 3. Knowledge of the assessor. And 4. Availability of equipment. Many food fish farms rely on complex lab testing and or large-scale water sampling, which is not realistic for ornamental trade. I'll pause here for a second just to say, I just find this interesting because since it's a hobby, we don't think a lot about like policy, and it's starting to come as, you know, a few towns here and there have banned keeping fish over here in the U.S., but you know, it's something that is coming down the pipeline. People looking at it like this is something maybe we should be regulating more, and this is where you find people in suits being like, okay, let's regulate all the fish. Wait, what do you mean? There's some different fish? Wait, ornamental fish, food farm fish. You could see how they could accidentally put all of, you know, ornamental fish with some aquaculture stuff when they might need to be treated differently. I see KW's message retracted. What did you say? I hate when you guys retract messages and I don't see what you said, and then it just makes me so curious. I'm like, man. But luckily the words do pop up on the screen, so usually it says a typo. All right. Continuing. I'm actually waking up. You know what's funny? Reading the auction stuff was kind of getting me low energy. Reading this is like waking me up. I'm like, I was interested in this. That's why I put it in that title. I find this to be very interesting. Okay, one potential way forward could be the use of the operational welfare indicators as proposed for use in ornamental fish by Jones et al. 2021. Okay. Operational welfare indicators, ornamental fish, 2021. Let's see what these are, if we can. This might be too much for us to read off the bat. Okay, let's go back, but we'll put a pin on that for later. And let me make sure I put a link to this in the chat so you guys can check it out. All right. Here's another thing from page 2, number 8. Since fish are sentient individuals, monitoring and measurement of fish exploitation should be done in terms of numbers rather than weight. So we shouldn't just treat them by weight. They're sentient. We should do them by individuals. So let's see the response from the Ornamental Fish Trade Association here. The response to that: this would be difficult to achieve for the ornamental industry, but nigh on impossible for commercial food fisheries. Research conducted by CEFAS examined ornamental trade data extracted from packing notices on consignment crossing the UK border and produced an estimate on the number of fish per kilogram of freight weight. However, invariably, these estimates can only offer a snapshot over a given time in a specific country. Retail stores are legally required to monitor the number of animals under their care via stock takes to record any instances of mortality. And they cite the Animal Welfare Licensing of Activities Involving Animals, Scotland Regulations 2021. All right, they respond again on page 22. KW said, well done to the Scots. The UK has a lot of invasive goldfish chucked in the canals by bad owners and other pet aquatic species that cause issues with local wildlife. Yep. And this is why, you know, people got to make sure we get it together, because the policy comes, and whether or not it comes with the, you know, where it's effective or well thought out, you know, you never know. They could just ban everything off the bat, and then you got to fight back to get a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they overdo it at first, sometimes they underdo it. You just never know, man. You never know, but that's why you got to pay attention. That's why I think it's really cool, and I don't know if there's a U.S. equivalent. Another reason why I think this site is so cool is this is like a very active trade association. And again, I don't know if there's a U.S. equivalent, but like, this kind of stuff is important. Like, sometimes it just takes someone to respond to at least have another side presented, or information given, and then people making policy can consider that as they actually pass legislation. All right, so they respond on page 22 to number 10. Statutory codes of practice or Scottish government guidance for the welfare of farmed and ornamental fish should be established to include similar issues as for other terrestrial species, such as health, water quality, enrichment, familiarity, stocking density, pain relief, handler competence, and monitoring. So this is another one where they compare what they think should be implemented to terrestrial species. So let's see what the OATA response to that is. So they say, our industry trades in live, healthy animals and has a vested interest in treating each fish as an individual. I feel like this is a pretty optimistic view of the fish trade in general. KW says the Scots sound like they actually had aquatic specialists write their responses. The UK takes all hobbies very seriously. No, that's another thing I didn't even get into. Again, I said one of the things that stands out about this is they actually update things regularly. One of the recent articles, October 23, is them welcoming a new scientific support officer to the team. So they actually do have some like scientists coming on. So this person says they attended the University of Portsmouth, got a BSc in marine environmental science, and then got a master's in applied aquatic biology. In her new role, they'll support OATA scientific and technical advisor Emily Monder with analysis, research, and evaluation on a diverse portfolio of issues affecting the industry, and support the delivery of the trades bodies, city and its guilds accredited training programs. Leigh Marie has a strong background in a retail environment, particularly working with corals and marine inverts, which blah, 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 blah. Basically, yeah, this is like a group that actually, you know, is taking seriously whatever they got going on. So yeah, taking their hobbies very seriously, and well-written responses. But all right, a vested interest in treating each fish as an individual. This is further evidenced by the stark difference in the value of ornamental fish when compared to food fishes. 1 ton of tuna fish in the Maldives was valued at $1,583 per ton, whereas their live ornamental fish exports were valued at $590,000 per ton. Wow. Our members sign and adhere to our code of conduct, which covers a wide range of standards, which we expect them to meet. These standards go above and beyond what is legally required and cover animal welfare, medicines and transport, water quality and testing, and staff training, among others. Aspects of our guidance has been used in the development of the statutory guidance regarding selling animals as pets under the Animal Welfare Licensing of Activities Involving Animals in Scotland Regulations 2021. Our input ensured this guidance recognized fish as separate to terrestrial vertebrates and treated them accordingly. Man, I really want to go back to Scotland even more now, man. This is pretty cool. Our input ensured this guidance recognized fish as separate to terrestrial vertebrates and treated them accordingly. The water quality parameters stated in the government guidance is taken directly from our water quality criteria document. We recognize the value of these statutory guidance documents, which exist for dogs and reptiles, and would welcome playing a part in creating a similar one for pet fish. So a lot of this here is like responding to some things they think maybe it's just like like you can't just legislate it like terrestrial stuff, but then there's things here where they're reminding them, like, I get you're catching up, you're like, oh, let's go ahead and put some laws in, but just so you know, we're already doing all this and also more, and you're taking inspiration from what we're already doing. So it's, you know, that is something I think is important, is like you take it more seriously than the government does ahead of time. So when they do start implementing policy, either one, maybe they don't feel like they have to do certain things because that's already part of your trade's standards, or two, they understand that you might actually have thought about what the best practices are and might have valuable input into that. You can read the report here. Let's see. I think. So this is a more full version of their response. So that was just some excerpts of the response, and here's the link to this here. And you can see it's a bit more passionate in the beginning when it's not the excerpt. So OATA's response here, ascribing sentience to fish and potential policy implications. They start off not pulling any punches. We are extremely disappointed, and they put in bold, extremely disappointed, that once again the Scottish Animal Welfare Commission has failed to engage with or consult OATA in the development of the Ascribing Sentience to Fish Potential Policy Implications report. As recognized key experts in the field of ornamental fish welfare and husbandry, we would have expected to be included in the process. We would have welcomed the opportunity to provide updated industry insights and statistics. OATA's contribution to the SAWC's Exotic Pet Working Group 2020 is referenced in the background section of this report. Within the working group, we provided industry insight, statistics, and evidence of positive actions undertaken proactively by the trade. We would respectfully ask to be formally recognized as a key stakeholder in any future Scottish Animal and Welfare Commission work streams pertaining to aquatic species. Nick, I still have racks for sale. Skull Aquatics says Nick does need more racks, Jesse. I don't think I have the space for your racks right now, unfortunately. I have to make space. Oh, excuse me. Also, I need to figure out what tank size I want to do. Okay. Wow, the association represents more than 800 UK businesses, which provides fish keepers with everything they need to set up and maintain a successful home aquarium or garden pond. Over 40 of our members are based in Scotland and include retailers, breeders, importers, manufacturers, and plant growers, many of which are SMEs. Analysis has found that the UK ornamental aquatic trade is worth over £1 billion annually, of which £660 million is generated from retail sales. Damn. 1 billion just in the UK. The concept of fish sentience is surrounded by conflicting evidence and varying definitions, standards, and practices across sectors, including ornamental fish keeping, commercial food fisheries, and the angling community. This can create uncertainty in policy making and lead to unintended negative welfare outcomes for fish. OATA takes precautionary approach by assuming all fish are sentient. Our positions, advice, and guidance have been developed with this assumption and predates the inclusion of fish in the Animal Welfare Sentience Act of 2020. And I'm going to put the link to the Animal Sentience Welfare Act in the chat just in case anyone's curious of checking that out in their own time. Public discourse often overlooks the high welfare standards embedded within ornamental aquatic trade practices. Guys, remember, this is over in another country. I'm not too familiar with our country's practices, but I do hear that the trade in general is they're a lot more on top of things. Jesse said I have 55 racks, and I have the racks that hold 12 tins or 3 40s. Is that 12 tins like on their ends, right? And then 3 40s on their ends? I forget. Okay. We would like to offer some comments and insights into the recommendations, okay, and that's what we just looked like. These are included in Annex 2 at the end of this letter. We would urge the key experts, including OATA. Okay, this will ensure future policy is reflective of the realities of our industry and provide the opportunity to demonstrate how we are already exceeding legal requirements. All right. And then I think Annex 2 is what we just read earlier, but I thought that was pretty interesting. Just a bit of bit of policy the policy process over there. 800 businesses is pretty significant. I feel like it would have been nice if they were included on that. I get why they're saying that. And what I like is they're putting out every single thing related to the trade. They're putting out a response to all the policy stuff. And I think this is important because, you know, like they said, they have all the expertise and experience to present their side of what they think the reality of the situation is and what can be realistically done, right? So I'm gonna have to dive into this more another time, but this is kind of stuff that I want to get back to going over. Not that we have not been going over stuff like this, but I just find this to be really interesting. So they got their ideas for this SPS agreement. Just November 3rd, they did proposals to update UK wildlife trade controls. OATA responds for the industry. Now, of course, they're representing the industry. They're a biased voice here, you know what I mean, a little bit. But you can tell they're putting a lot of effort into trying to make credible responses, and even proactively. This is the last two responses. This is actually a proposal and how to update something. So here they're looking for import permits for Annex B specimens, put additional requirements on businesses to apply for more permit on certain site species, and for the UK Scientific Authority to investigate and issue a non-detrimental finding on the trade, as well as requiring the exporting country to also issue an NDF. So just if you go through this whole entire thing. Provisions to better address smuggling post-import. This looks like an attempt to introduce a United States Lacey-style act into UK regulations. UK importers will be expected to understand and comply with laws from multiple countries in different languages, creating legal uncertainty and direct contravention to UK principles. It would also divert resources away from the UK border, which is where enforcement on preventing illegal species into the UK should be concentrated. We're not in favor of any approach that could impact, etc., etc., etc. So, listen, this could be going on here to some degree too, but I think also since it's a smaller country, it's like here we have it's by state by state by state by state so much that it would be harder to kind of track on a larger scale what's going on because it can be so localized. But here is kind of a slightly smaller country, but still they take things very seriously. It's not as much of a difficult way to track what's going on as far as legislation goes. So it could be a good thing to watch just to kind of get ideas about how to go about this in the case of if maybe your state or your locality starts looking at implementing some more policy that could affect the aquarium trade. I think that the OATA has some decent talking points here for some common things that could come up. KW says the UK is about the size of California. Yeah. Which is big. It is big. But yeah, that's one state. Sheesh. Scale is crazy. Scale is crazy. I do want to go back to Scotland, though. I do. Scotland is beautiful. I really enjoyed it. I don't know why. Well, no, I know why I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know why I've been like getting the urge to go back so much. But honestly, I'm not getting on a fucking plane right now at all. You couldn't pay me to get on a plane right now. You could not pay me to get on a plane right now. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. And not for no 8 to 12 hours. Planes falling out the sky. No fucking air traffic controllers. The person in charge of that department is a fool. Yeah. No, it's a disaster. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'd rather take my chances on one of those mopeds. You know what I mean? Or like the one wheels. Bob said same, Nick. Yeah, I can't. Mick said in the UK left the EU. Another thing to remember here. Yeah, exactly. So that also further simplifies tracking it. So I think they say that people over there are like a couple years ahead of us when it comes to the hobby, and I feel like it's going to be that way when it comes to policy as well. So it could be something that's kind of fun to watch, right? But left the link to that in the chat. That was from the Ornamental Aquatic Trade Association again. And I think they got industry jobs page. All right. They got an accredited program. Yeah, you can't just like no one, not just anyone can just open a pet store over in the UK. By the way, like you got to have like a special license and things like that. So that is another thing. Like when KW's talked about they take the hobbies really seriously. Well, part of that is because like it trickles down from the top. Like there's a higher floor to open up a pet store over there. But I hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. Hello, Cheryl. Foundation training program. Take our initial assessment. Oh man. Should we take the initial assessment? I'm kind of scared. Give me a second. I kind of scared. How long could the assessment be? The rules of policy made and agreed in 2020 is probably the same. Okay, so then this is like updating, you know what I mean? Now that they're on their own, what do we do next? Let me export this as a PDF, and I'll export it to my desktop, and then I'll put it in here, and then I don't know if this is actually going to be anything that we can really look at, but I'm just curious. We got an assessment. Oh, they gotta send it. So this is just to sign up to take the training program, I see. Do you have a good understanding of English and math? Do you have basic understanding of science? Do you have previous experience in fish keeping? If you answered no to 2 and 3, then it may not be advisable for you to undertake our training programs. 2 and 3 is if you can use a computer. The use of Skype for a final verbal assessment. Oh, they need to update this. Skype is dead. Come on, man. Come on. They said you need Skype? Okay. This hasn't been updated. They got a course on water quality, filtration, fish biology, and fish health. Program prerequisites. You have 12 months to complete the course. Jeez. Wow. Foundation training program for members is 140 pounds. This is crazy, man. Is this like you getting a realtor license or something? It's like the equivalent. I disagree about being ahead in the hobby. They don't have antibiotics for fish, and there's a lot of unethical breeding and importing. Hobbies like watercolor. I mean, there's a lot of that here too. The antibiotics thing, that's just because you're not allowed to have certain medications or whatever, right? I mean, I don't know if that's like a being behind thing as much as just... There's a couple other countries where they can't just use certain medications because of laws because a lot of the medications that we use for fish and stuff, like some of them are used for humans or in broader agriculture. Chechnya, as an example, is in the EU, and so is Germany. Yeah, I see. But you guys you're in a nice place to get a lot of nice imports easily. I mean, you're definitely ahead in killifish. Next time I go over to Scotland, I'm bringing back some killifish eggs at least. I gotta smuggle those. Well, I guess I should be able to bring those back, actually. That should be fine. Those, get some Acellus aquaticus. What else would be easier to get over there? Let me think. I'm not trying haggis again. Nope. There's some fun snacks, though. I like trying new weird snacks. I really do. There's a lot of weird snacks. Weird to me, at least. Also, the beef jerky over there was kind of terrible. At least what I tried. But it's fine. Okay. Everyone, thank you for hanging out. This has been a good time. It's a little late. I got some work to do tomorrow. Mick says there's at least one great killie breeder in Glasgow. Man, if only I knew that when I was in Glasgow, man. I went to Glasgow. I went to go see a show, some music. What's up, Jeff? But yeah, I got a bunch of stuff to get to tomorrow. It's getting a little late. Just wanted to hop on, make sure we wrapped up a little bit of an auction recap, do some sellers reports so you guys can kind of see what things went for, what some people bought, and just a quick little, I guess, you know, fish news, fish policy news. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you didn't, don't care, because I loved it. This is my world. Hardest working fish stream. That's right, JP. Appreciate you. We're going to keep it running. We should be having a trivia night. Me and Captain are going to put together a trivia night. And there'll be some worm cultures from Captain if you're in the U.S. and not in like Alaska or Hawaii, right? We'll be doing some like worm culture giveaways courtesy of the Captain for that. So listen, rack your brains for trivia. Me and Captain are going to come up with some stuff. You know that she's a teacher, so I expect some hard-hitting questions, and then I'm going to come up with some. You'll be able to tell what questions I came up with, probably. But yeah, that trivia should be coming sometime this week. So be prepared for that mentally, spiritually, and aquatically, right? It's a fake expert issues, antibiotics, because people were using them. It's a mess. Oh my gosh. Is that like people drinking methylene blue? Oh man. Yeah, what's up with everyone? Everyone's like deworming themselves now too. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I should just stop eating pork. Shit. It's getting wicked out here, right? But okay, guys. I'm a dip. I appreciate you. Just a little under 2 hours hitting in here, but still hardest working, most consistent fish stream. KW, Mick, appreciate you guys over the pond joining in. One of my favorite parts of streaming is just we got to get people all from all over that know all sorts of things, all sorts of different things. We can collaborate in the chat and whatnot and figure some things out. So, by the way, Skype was developed and started in Sweden, then sold to Microsoft or Google. Can't remember. Mick always knows so many random facts. KW said stockpiling, yes, and taking them themselves. Jesus, what? Stockpiling fish? That's crazy. If you're watching this on replay, definitely curious. Comment what you thought of any of the auction stuff, and comment what you thought of the policy stuff too. Love to see what you guys think. And with that being said, this has been In My Tanks. This is Ada the Cat. Mick knows Sweden, and I'm out. Good night, folks, and I'll see you again very soon. Not too soon, but soon. Soon enough. You know what? Chicken butt. Yeah, I went there.